every day in every city room comes that hectic time when all the footwork, rewrite, captioning, cartooning, press work, when all the news from all over the world comes together into a newspaper you can read. This is where the pros earn their money. Reporter to rewrite to makeup to city desk. The stories that shock a nation, move them, make them laugh, begin here. Like this one. Hello. I'm Paul Stewart. Fire is one of man's greatest achievements. Constructive in an infinite number of ways, but it can be destructive too. Two-sided, like people. Reporter Arthur Brooks of the Erie Dispatch had to dig out the hidden, destructive part of one human being to discover the cause of a series of baffling fires. They're ready. They're rolling. The presses are rolling on deadline. The Erie Dispatch has a direct hookup. The system rings automatically, and reporter Arthur Brooks reacts automatically.
Captain. Over here, Art. Gee, that's funny. You'd think with 2 garbage cans within easy reach. Is something wrong, Captain?
Oh, no. What were you saying, Art?
Well, it's just as you'd think with garbage cans.
Well, you know how people are. They just never learn.
Hey, Brooks, are you down there?
You!
I'd figure the damage, say, 3,000 or 4,000.
And the origin of the fire?
Just carelessness, Art. You can see.
Hang on, I'm bringing you a real live hero.
Just carelessness.
Oh, this gentleman tells me that you're a reporter for the Dispatch.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, your paper ought to know about this boy.
How's that?
My 60-year-old mother and my little girl were trapped up there. He led them out. Hadn't been for him. I'm always reading about these wild kids and juvenile delinquency. Here's a real story for you. This boy's a hero.
Well, that's fine. I'm glad to hear it.
And he gave me $5.
5 lousy bucks. I'd have given him 5,000 if I had it. I mean it. He's quite a kid. He's a hero.
Well, what's your name, son?
Jerry Thomas.
Jerry Thomas. Where do you live?
58 Sycamore Road.
Jerry? Well, you're not kidding me now. You really did what he said.
See? I told you she wouldn't believe it.
Oh, you can read all about it tomorrow in the Dispatch, Miss Thomas.
Well, Jerry's name in the paper and all?
His name and all.
Oh, how about that now?
And that ain't all, Mom. The man whose mother and girl I saved, he gave me $5.
Boy, oh, boy. Oh, I just wished Frank could know about this. My husband, he's on a little trip now. He's kind of a salesman, so he's out a lot. But he never took much to Jerry here. Right from the beginning, he said we didn't need no other kid around the house. Well, I could see his point. We got one of our own, you know. He's grown up now. He's away, and it's not as if I couldn't see Frank's side of it. Jer was 10 when we took him in, and he had a bad record there at the home, didn't you, Jer?
Yeah.
Couldn't seem to do anything right. Always getting into one kind of trouble or another. Jer wasn't with us a week when he did something real bad, didn't you, Jer?
Yeah.
But I always said he was a good boy. That's what I always said, and that's what I believe. There are no bad boys, only bad parents. He's okay now, isn't he? I mean, a boy could do a thing like Jared did. He's okay, isn't he?
Yes, I'd say so, Miss Thomas.
Yes, sirree. He's okay.
Well, it's been nice meeting you, Miss Thomas.
Oh, that'll be written up in tomorrow's dispatch, right?
That's right.
Oh, how about that? No, sirree. Well, you earned this, Jer. More than this. Well, you were a real hero, son. And I'm awful proud of you. Hey, enough of that now, or we'll never get to dinner. I'll be right back.
The next day, there was a big one. The Signal 4. All available equipment. It was a big one, the biggest in 22 years.
Yeah? Yes, that's right. Right? Yes, it's just about under control now. No, I couldn't get to the captain, but one of his boys puts the damage at about 200,000. Yeah, that's right, 200,000. Yes, you can keep that as an estimate. Now, I'll get to the captain as soon as he's free, and I'll call you back with the particulars. Right.
10 people injured, none of them seriously, thank God. The property damage in this one figures to run close to $500,000.
Wow. And the origin of the fire?
We're still working on that one, Art.
Same neighborhood as the one yesterday. You figure this makes 2 in a row that some careless character threw a match or a cigarette into a neatly arranged batch of garbage?
We're still working on it, Art.
You know, the super of the building told me he went through the cellar about a half hour before the fire started. And he swears there was no garbage lying around loose.
A lot can happen in half an hour.
Yeah, one of your boys told me he smelled kerosene down there. Or lighter fluid. Any comment?
All right, Art. Let's quit fencing. If you're hinting around about the possibility of arson, you're right. But it's much more than a possibility, and I'll have to ask you right now to forget it.
Well, you're kidding.
Art, you tell people that a firebug is loose, they go crazy. They panic. We'll have 100 calls in here every time someone spots a stranger lighting a cigarette in a hallway. A puff of smoke goes curling out of a window, and that alarm box up there will ring like New Year's Eve. We'll be rolling out of here a dozen times a day to answer false alarms, and then when we're really...
Okay, I get your message.
And you'll sit on it.
Yeah, I'll sit on it. But one thing, when you find out who set these things...
You'll be the first to know.
Okay. Off the record, Captain, what makes you so sure it was arson?
Well, you got the first part of it, Art, the other day. The garbage was just a little too neatly arranged. Aside from that, you pick up a couple of rags soaked in kerosene. Actually, we think it was ordinary lighter fluid. You've got yourself a pretty good case for arson.
Well, what happens now?
Well, the police are in on it, naturally. They'll case the neighborhoods for known arsonists and pull in all the offbeat characters. They've got their routine. Let's just hope they pull him in before he hits again. Because he'll hit again. And he'll keep on hitting until he's caught. They always do.
Another report on the Parade Street fire. It has now been definitely ascertained that there were 10 injured, none seriously, and no deaths. There will be a complete coverage on our regularly scheduled On the Hour newscast. And now, back to music especially designed for listening.
There was a big fire on Parade Street today. A real whopper. Did you hear?
How many times do I have to tell you not to slam that door? Lousy foreman yelling at me all day long. Do this, do that. My head feels like it's coming off.
But I turned in the alarm, Mom. I was passing by Parade Street. I seen this here smoke come.
Listen, I was thinking. I was going to warm up this meat, but maybe you'd enjoy it more just cold. You could make yourself a sandwich, okay?
But I turned in the alarm, just like yesterday.
You mean you're going to get your name in the papers again?
Well, no. I don't think so, anyways. I mean, I tried to go in and save those people like I did yesterday, but there was too much fire. I mean, I really wanted to, but the fire went up too fast.
Well, listen, you did good anyways.
But I tried. I really tried.
For the love of Pete, do you have to stand right under my nose? Listen, I got to get out of the house once in a while. I'll be over Mr. Schmidt's. You want something? The meat's all cut up for you anyways. And don't bother with the dishes. Just stack them, okay? Listen, about the fire alarm you turned in. Well, you're doing real good, Jer. Frank would be real surprised. I mean it.
Now it was definite. The accident of fire had turned into the crime of arson. Somewhere in this city where Art Brooks lived and worked, an arsonist was waiting to strike. But where? A school, a hospital, no place is immune. Nothing is sacred. A curl of smoke, a lick of flame, and sudden death. Somewhere in this city, a killer was at work. Parade Street again. The third one on the same street. A pattern, possibly. But Parade is a big street. They were getting it under control. As soon as they could get more ventilation in and let out the smoke. It had been pretty rough. Some of the firemen got too much and needed the inhalators. They'd be okay. Okay until the next one. And the one after that.
I hate speculation, Art. I hate it. Because I've seen people leap to conclusions before. And then there's no undoing of the damage. All we have to go on are 3 fires lit the same way. People caught in the first 2, none in the third. Flames in the first 2, big smoke in the third. The windows were sealed tightly. All the smoke stayed inside until we hacked the place open. That's about it. Except
what?
I hate speculation. The kid who turned in the first 2 alarms turned in this one, too.
He lives just a block and a half off Parade Street. Hello, Jerry.
Come in.
I was just passing by and What's the matter?
There's nothing the matter. You want some soup? I got plenty.
No, thanks. I've had my lunch.
Thanks for that write-up in the papers. That was real nice.
Well, don't do that for me, Jerry. I'm not hungry, really.
It's for Mom. She's late. Sometimes she gets held up on the job.
Oh, I see. You wouldn't have a cup of coffee?
Yeah, sure.
You know, people do get held up on the job sometimes.
If she don't mean to come, why does she say she will?
You know, grown-ups sometimes take their kids for granted.
But a promise is a promise, ain't it?
Jerry, why didn't you tell me that you were the one who turned in the alarm this morning?
Oh. What for? I mean, what was it? An alarm. Anybody could have done it.
Well, I wrote up the other alarm, didn't I?
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot. But I saved some people. And that was the important part. Doing something good, right? This one I only saw the smoke coming out. I figured, gee, that's a fire in there. So I pulled the switch. Maybe if I'd saved a whole bunch of people, like in a hospital or a school, maybe if I'd done something like that. I'm not so hungry. I better be going. I'll be late for school.
Jerry, isn't it kind of funny that you were around when all those fires happened? All 3 of them?
No, sir. The fires were right near each other. I was passing by on my way to school. Well, maybe it does seem kind of funny. But there's a reason for it. The first fire, I spotted that one by accident. But this morning, I was looking kind of special. Like I was a fireman or something. I might not have spotted the smoke at all if it wasn't on account of the fire yesterday. I gotta admit, I was looking kind of special. You know.
Art Brooks had walked these same streets only a few hours ago. What did he hope to find here now? Or was the answer buried somewhere in his mind? What had he seen or heard?
Because he'll hit again. And he'll keep on hitting until he's caught.
What had the boy said?
Maybe if I'd saved a whole bunch of people. Like in a hospital or a school. Maybe if I'd done something like that.
No, it was unthinkable.
I mean, you come barging in here like a steam engine. I can hardly get my shoes off. I come home from work, you're standing at my front door.
Well, now, believe me, Mrs. Thomas, this is important.
Look, you can tell me. I'm the boy's mother. So if he's in trouble, you can tell me what it is.
Look, will you please tell me where I can find him? Where does he usually hang around after school?
Did he get in a fight?
No, he didn't get in a
Frank
fight,
was
Mrs.
right. He had the right idea. I should have let Frank beat it out of him.
He did not get in a fight, Mrs. Thomas, but if he had, we could all of us count our blessings. I'm not trying to play games with you, Mrs. Thomas.
Well, what are you saying he did?
If I knew, I'd have gone to the police.
It's the fires, isn't it?
Why do you say that?
You remember I told you my husband and Jerry didn't get along?
Yes.
Frank was sore about something, and he took it out on Jerry. And then Frank lay down on the couch in there, and he had himself a few beers, and he fell asleep. And the next thing I know, the couch is on fire, and Jerry's in there dousing Frank with water. Well, Frank figured he owed the kid his life. But then later we both of us got to thinking, how could a thing like that happen?
Did you ever do anything about it, Mrs. Thomas?
Well, no one was hurt.
You suspected the boy of trying to set your husband on fire, and you never thought that maybe he's sick?
Well, if there was something wrong with Jerry when he lived at the orphans, all he needed was a mother's care, and he got that here.
Sure.
I was like a mother to him, I tell you. I was his mother. Oh, you don't think he's going to set another one, do you? He told me he was going to stay late. In school.
In school?
My ball rolled in through that window. So I shinnied in. There, you can see the window's still open. It's probably around here somewhere. I already looked in there.
When are we going to light it, Jerry? When you could save a school full of kids, be a big hero?
It wasn't going to be a big fire anyways. I wouldn't have taken a chance somebody might get hurt. So it wasn't going to be a big fire. And then you'd write about it in the papers. And Ma'd like that. And she'd write to Mr. Thomas.
Arthur Brooks' Deadline story neglected one essential element of good reporting. A good reporter tells who, what, when, and where. Art Brooks left out the who. He left it out deliberately. The arsoners had been apprehended. The people of Erie could sleep. It would have done no good to publish the fact that the terrorist in their midst was a 14-year-old boy. Now, under the care of a psychiatrist, there is a chance that one day that side of Jerry Thomas's personality that made him risk his life in burning buildings may emerge triumphant. With this hope in his heart, reporter Arthur Brooks had met his deadline.